welcome back to another episode of No BS Just News with Steve. As always, I'm your host. Thanks for tuning in to the best YouTube around. Just kidding. Hey, listen, I'm here to bring you some more updates on the stimulus, third stimulus. Hey, just know that I will be bringing other news, but that seems to be the topic of several million Americans' concerns when they're going to get their third stimulus check. How come they didn't get their second stimulus check? I do know that the IRS updated their irs.gov page to say effective January 29th of this year, obviously. If you do not see an update saying that your payment has been sent out or redirected, it will no longer update for the second stimulus check. So you are going to have to claim the recovery rebate credit if you haven't received it, or if you don't have a date showing that it's been mailed out or direct deposited, or you just haven't received it and you're still wondering what's going on. Unfortunately, they are not going to be sending it out anymore. Hopefully you all have received it. I did look into the banking information, if you can update your banking information. They did update it yesterday, February 10th, and it still says they are not allowing you to update that information. So going forward, I do not know if they're going to allow that for the third stimulus check. So I don't know. I think probably the best thing to do for that, if you've got an address change or an update on direct deposit, you're going to have to file your 2020 tax return, and then that's where they'll update their systems and hopefully send it to that address, or direct deposit it into the account you put on your tax return. That's what it says on the IRS, just to update your systems or update your information on your 2020 tax return so they can update their systems. Now, that's not relating to the third stimulus check. I still don't know if they're going to allow you to update any information as far as your banking information because of fraud. So I don't know. But it says U.S. House members on Wednesday begin drafting the $1.9 trillion coronavirus stimulus bill, including $1,400 stimulus checks per person for individuals making up to $75,000 and married couples earning up to $150,000. So it does seem like the income caps for adjusted gross income will stay the same as it has for the first and second stimulus checks. There are a few differences. The proposal, the House Ways and Means Committee, also would provide $1,400 for each dependent, but the payments would cut off entirely for individuals earning more than $100,000 and married couples earning more than $200,000. So that is a difference between the first and second stimulus check. It says, we are considering proposals that will give Americans a sense of security in a time of overwhelming uncertainty, said Committee Chairman Richard Neal, Democrat from Massachusetts. This includes the security of knowing that the second part of their $2,000 stimulus check is on the way. For the lowest income families, this means help affording life's most basic necessities. I mean, it's taken forever, but at least they're getting this together. The stimulus payments supported by President Joe Biden drew opposition Wednesday from committee Republicans who said there were better ways and uses for the money. For example, ranking Republican Kevin Brady of Texas said the same amount of money spent on direct payments could fund $40,000 vouchers for 10 million jobless workers or pay the income taxes of more than 85% of workers. They're not taking the Republicans' insight into consideration. There's a third round of stimulus checks that many experts admit are more political stimulus than an economic one, Brady said. Costing nearly $500 billion, these checks do little to help Main Street businesses survive or get people back to work. So I don't know. The various sections of the stimulus bill were farmed out to different committees, which plan to be wrapped up by the end of this week. Lawmakers plan to end their work on Friday, giving the House Budget Committee the following week to put the entire bill together before bringing to the full chamber for approval. Nancy Pelosi said it would be voted on by tomorrow. Obviously, it's not going to happen. I don't know. Republicans on the House Transportation Committee attempted unsuccessfully to shift $10 billion, or 1/3 of the $30 billion in federal grants earmarked for public transportation systems like the New Jersey Transit, to roads and bridges, allowing more states to lay claim to the funding. Based on previous allocations, New Jersey Transit could get close to $2 billion. That's crazy, but good. I mean, I don't know. They are saying that with this bill, it means it'll keep cops, firefighters, public health workers, teachers, and other public servants on the job in the fight against the virus. That was per White House spokesman Jen Psaki. And that means getting help to cities, counties, and states to get vaccines and arms faster, something many governors and mayors have spoken about. So I know that the vaccine is severely behind as far as you trying to get an appointment. They're booked out all the way to like May. So I don't know. It's tough. It's going to be tough to get it. I know they're having issues staffing these vaccine places. They're calling back nurses that have retired. Anybody that can administer a shot, a vaccine, they're trying to bring them out of retirement, or they're asking for volunteers. They're doing that in my place of employment. So if you can get out there and volunteer and help get the nation vaccinated, please do so, because it definitely helps. I mean, and I know a lot of people are against the vaccine and against this COVID, but I know in one instance, a doctor friend of the family was totally against the COVID, didn't think it existed. He's actually an anesthesiologist, retired. I won't put his name out there. However, he contracted COVID, and it just about killed him. His O2 stat went to, I think it went to 84, and he literally thought that he was going to die, if not be completely intubated. He couldn't breathe. He had severe pneumonia, and he said it was just awful. He laid in the emergency room for like 14 hours waiting to get a bed. So just imagine your O2, your oxygen levels at 84. I mean, you should be between 92 and 95. 84. Anything below that, they're definitely intubating you, probably putting you in a medically induced coma and giving you 100% oxygen. And they're saying some of these strands, people have no choice because it's just wiping them out, and they're not being able to, they can't breathe. And I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but I know that I have. I've had pneumonia, and it came from working in the prison from a particular situation. I've also got something stuck in my windpipe where I could not breathe, and it literally was freaking me out. But the pneumonia, where it went on several days where I just couldn't get a deep breath, I didn't feel like it was a mess. It's scary. It's absolutely scary. And if you're at home by yourself and you're elderly and you just can't get to the phone or whatever, and you can't get help immediately, it's scary. You know what I mean? And it's going to put your body in shock, and it could cause all kinds of other health concerns, as is this virus. We're seeing a lot of underlying medical issues after Americans have contracted COVID. So hopefully they can get this money out quickly. I hope that the IRS.gov does something to get my payment system to be able to go in and put your banking information in there if it's changed. I don't know if they're going to allow that, like I said, because of the fraud situation. You know, fraud is huge. If you look at unemployment, I mean, there's fraud like crazy on that. Tons and tons and millions of Americans have had their identity stolen due to unemployment. So just be aware of that. If you get a chance, Google that. And if you've been a victim of that, please look into that. Just don't let it go, because that means they have all your information, and they're probably doing more than just getting unemployment. They may be opening credit cards in your name. So if you don't have like a block on your credit, or I mean on your social security number, get one. And if you are a victim of that, they do offer that for free. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I did want to touch briefly on domestic violence. We had a situation in Arizona just yesterday. Actually, they caught the guy. He was able to intercept his wife or his girlfriend that was driving down the road in the van. He stopped her, ripped her out of the van. The 10-month-old baby was in the back. He was the father, but it was a bad domestic violence situation, and he drove off, dragging her down the road, and it ended up taking her life. And he had beat the hell out of her several times before. And it's not just men that do it. Women do it all the time. However, men just don't have that. It's a pride thing, I think, for men. They don't want to come forward and say that, women are just terrorizing the crap out of them. But it's real, people. Domestic violence is real, and it's easy to say, well, just get out of the situation. But when you're in a relationship like that, you become afraid of that person, knowing that these threats are real and they will take your life. A lot of them turn out to be empty threats, but as you can see yesterday, he didn't give a damn that he was dragging her down the street. He could care less. He didn't care. And it killed her. And now he's facing manslaughter and abduction of his own kid. So good luck, buddy. Throw the book at him. Anyway, y'all, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.